All right. Hopefully everyone can hear me all right. My name is Tim Hoagie, and I am the Managing Director of Sales with HeinOnline. I'm joined today by my colleague Steve Roses, who's the Director of Sales, and we both work with schools all around the country and around the world in using HeinOnline on a daily basis. And the webinar that we are going to be covering today is Researching Criminal Justice and Criminology in HeinOnline. Obviously, this is kind of a hot topic that's been in the news as of late, and we just kind of want to walk you through it, show you some of the different options that we have in HeinOnline, and what we have to offer for those of you that are on trial, as well as those of you who are interested in HeinOnline and wanting to know more about what we have available. Before we jump into HeinOnline, the database too much, I do want to remind everyone that if you, since you are a registered participant with the webinar, you will receive a Starbucks gift card. They are being sent out via email, and you should receive them by the end of the day this coming Friday. One moment. All right. So what are some of the things that make HeinOnline unique? I would say probably the first thing is that we are a complete full research suite. We cover hundreds of topics in HeinOnline, not only criminal justice, not only law, but you can find materials for accounting, political science, tons of history, tons of government documents, international relations, the list goes on and on. The HeinOnline Academic Database is now comprised of over 30 databases, or excuse me, the HeinOnline Academic Package is now comprised of over 30 databases. So it is an absolutely huge research suite for any program that you may have at your particular schools. On top of that, we offer full text of all the material that we have available within the database. You're not going to find abstracts. You're not going to find summaries. Everything is available, and we'll go into that in just a little bit more detail in terms of the text of the material. All the periodicals and serials that we have available in HeinOnline go back to inception. So we're talking day one, issue one, volume one, whatever the case may be. And, we hate to say it, but we have some excellent journal coverage, particularly in the criminal justice area of research. We have recently added quite a few criminal justice specific materials into HeinOnline, and I'll show you that in just a moment. And then finally, we are committed to our customer service and satisfaction. That is the primary differentiator between HeinOnline and other databases that you may be used to using. We're a small family-owned company based in Buffalo, New York. That's where I'm sitting right now. And when you have comments, questions, concerns, anything you may have to know or need to know about HeinOnline, reach out to us. We're going to help you out. We're going to talk to you like a real person and not like an account number. That's the biggest, most important thing that we focus on every day at Heine. Now, before we keep moving, I want to bring up something new that we were trying in HeinOnline and that during our webinars, and that's polling. So first, we're going to try our first poll question, and I'm going to hope that it pops up. All right, here it is. How many criminal justice related periodicals are available in HeinOnline? And if you could all select one of these, that would be great. Is it 24 titles, 67 titles, 102 titles, or 124 titles? We'll give you guys just a few seconds to answer that. Take your best guess. And I'm going to see what I select here. I hear some Jeopardy music in the background. All right, let's take a look and see what the results look like. Oh, all right. The majority have picked 124 titles, and you are correct. Now, those are criminal justice specifically related journals. There is a ton. We have over 2,800 titles, journal titles available on HeinOnline, and many of those include articles that cover criminal justice related materials. But that 124 are titles that focus specifically on criminal justice and criminology related material. Now, speaking of that, some of the recent additions we have into HeinOnline of those journals, you can see here, Australian New Zealand Journal of Criminology, Crime and Delinquency, Crime Media Culture, Criminology and Criminal Justice, and so on. So these are now all available from inception within the HeinOnline Academic Collection. All right. Now, I think that's the last of my slides. Let's jump into HeinOnline. So you may or may not be familiar with the screen that you're seeing here. This is what we call our HeinOnline welcome screen. When you're trialing HeinOnline Academic, all of the databases that you see listed here are what you would have access to. You know, you can see here we have our search all databases box at the top of the screen, different ways of jumping into different content, citation, catalogs, and case law. We'll talk about all that in just a moment. Before we jump into all these different databases, I'm sorry, but we have one more polling question. Ben, could you bring up our polling question, please? In what database would you begin your research on police brutality? Would it be the Criminal Justice and Criminology database, the Law Journal Library, the Federal Register, or on our welcome screen? Now, I hope where we're sitting right now within HeinOnline isn't too much of a dead giveaway, but go ahead and pick whichever one you think. And Ben, let's take a look and see what those results look like. Now, many of you selected Criminal Justice and Criminology, and I understand why you would pick that. In reality, what I would suggest any user using HeinOnline to do is start on our welcome screen. Where you see this option that says search all databases, that's exactly what it's going to do. While we have all of our different databases, the topical databases are broken up into kind of organized silos. What our search all databases box is going to do is it's going to allow you to search across all of the material we have available and then really narrow it down, your results down based on exactly what it is that you're looking to do. So, for example, let's do a search for, well, we talked about police brutality, so police brutality and police reform. I'm running that search. Now, I did use a Boolean operator because I'm doing a couple search for two different phrases, but typically HeinOnline, we don't require the use of Boolean operators. All of the Boolean operators are available within our search help link below that search box at all times. They're very easy to use. We give you an example of how they're used and just a quick snapshot of what they would do. So for my search of police brutality and police reform, we received 755 results. Now, these results are coming from all over HeinOnline, all of the material that we have access to right now. If we want, we can refine that search down to specific date ranges. Here you can see that we go back into the 50s, 1900s, 50s, 60s, and so on. In addition, we can limit those to specific collections and databases, just like here, we can say Criminal Justice and Criminology if we so choose. But what else I'd like to show you is maybe when we're looking at police brutality and police reform, maybe what we're really interested in is a specific area of that research. So maybe while we're doing that research, we're really most interested in the use of deadly force. If we click on deadly force, that is one of the topics that we have available in HeinOnline. All of the articles within HeinOnline, both in the criminal justice database as well as all of the law journals, have been topic coded, and many of them have multiple topics. Here you can see here the first result that we received by limiting it to deadly force is from Edward to Eric Gardner and beyond, the importance of constitutional limitations on lethal use of force in police reform. Some of the other topics that this particular article have been assigned are police, as we mentioned, deadly force, law enforcement, constitutional law, and misconduct. So here you can see that using those topics and using that search, the full text search, we can really hone in on exactly what it is that we're looking to do our research on within HeinOnline. And we will be jumping into criminal justice in just a moment. Now, I'm going to jump into this particular article.
Tim, 1 second just before you do, there's a couple people have been asking if you can increase the size of your screen ratio in the upper right-hand corner.
Sure. Is that better?
Looks better to me.
Okay. So as we're saying, we'll jump into that particular article. We'll take a look at it. Many of you may have seen some of our webinars before, so I'm not going to jump into it too much, but we have our electronic table of contents that runs down the left-hand side of the screen. Our citation information is always available up above that, showing our scholar check who is cited to this particular article, what cases, what American Law Institute materials, and how many times it's been accessed over the past rolling 12 months. We have citation information from the Blue Book down to APA, Chicago, McGill, MLA, and so on. Running across the top of the screen is where we can grab our PDFs, our print download options, email this to anyone who may have need access to HeinOnline, but maybe is unavailable to come into the library or is unavailable to get onto the remote access. We can bookmark, so maybe we're interested in saving the research that we're performing and creating a bookmark that says Criminal Justice. And as we go along, we can save our articles into a particular bookmark in our My Hein tool. Now there's many other tools that run across the top of the screen here for searching, going to from page to page, multiple pages, multiple image manipulation buttons, rotating left, right, zoom in, zoom out, view multiple pages at once, go full screen, and then we do have something called more like this, and I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. Now, some of the other search features that we have in HeinOnline that work very well for any sort of criminal justice research would be something such as, just one moment. First, I'd like to show you our Venn diagram search. And in here, let's do a search for criminal and police and justice. I'm going to run this search. And what the Venn diagram does is it produces a data visualized search results. What it's doing right now is it's running that search for us. Give it just a moment. And you can see here we received over 365,000 results. Those results are running down the right-hand side of the screen, just as if we were looking at another search result that we had performed previously. And running down the left-hand side of the screen here, you can see our Venn diagram. Now, this is interactive. The results that we're looking at right now are where police and justice and criminal all intersect. This red highlighted area. If we want to see just police and justice, we can click that. It's going to automatically change to show 471,000 results. Criminal and justice, 730 results, police, criminal, and so on. And we can see all the different data set sizes and how they relate to one another within the greater HeinOnline set of data. Now, I'm going to jump back to advanced search. Now, again, we were showing how to limit you to a specific topic based on the results that you received from a full text search. You can also automatically limit to specific topics just when you're performing a search. So here I'm going to put in, for example, let's look for criminal behavior. And I want to limit my topic to law enforcement. And if I run that search, just give that a moment. You can see that we have 1,887 results, and these are all looking for the term criminal behavior, but it's limiting all of the results to only those articles that have the term law enforcement, the topic law enforcement associated with them. Now, let's say, for example, that we have an article that we really think is perfect for our research. Criminal behavior is an expression of identity and a form of resistance to the socio-legal significance of the Hawaiian cockfight. Okay, let's say that that is what it is that we're attempting to do research on. And we love this article, but we need more articles that are similar to this article. That's where more like this comes in. We can click on more like this, and what will happen is the system's going to take over. It's going to examine that initial article, and it's going to pull out what it deems to be interesting words. Here you can see the terms that it's pulled out are cockfighters, cockfighting, cockfight, Hawaiian, Balinese, and a word that I'm unsure how to pronounce. And it's also assigned different weights to these terms. So you can see that these are a sliding scale, and we can change those if we want. We can even adjust those terms as we see fit. Now, the system is essentially saying, based on that initial article that we started with, you should really like these additional articles that it's come up with. So here we go. Everyone knows the game, legal consciousness in the Hawaiian cockfight. The lawmaker wants cockfighting to be part of heritage, a critical analysis, and so on. Understanding blood sports, cross-burning cockfighting, and so on. So this is a great example that HeinOnline can take one article that you're interested in and using natural language processing and artificial intelligence, help you come up with a whole list of new resources that should be really on point for what it is the research that a student or a faculty member is attempting to perform. Now that we've talked about some of those search features, let's also talk about, obviously, what we're here for is our Criminal Justice and Criminology database. I'm going to just jump into it. And we've recently added more than 2 million pages of content to this particular database. As I mentioned, I showed you all that huge title of about 13 titles, I believe, that we just added to HeinOnline, or excuse me, we are adding like within the next couple days. The Criminal Justice and Criminology database contains, let's see here, congressional hearings, Department of Justice publications, Government Accountability Office reports, Congressional Research Service reports, a huge list of periodicals, rare pamphlets, monographs and memoirs, books, and it goes on and on. This is an absolutely incredible resource. Some of you may have seen some of my webinars prior to this particular one, before we revamped the database. I used to show a lot of guides and handbooks that were included in here that were produced by the Department of Justice and the FBI. And those guides and handbooks were produced for local law enforcement agencies on how to handle local issues, arson investigations, gang crimes, rape investigations, ethics handbooks. The list goes on, and they are all still available within this database. In addition, many of the periodicals that we have recently added have been subject coded, and some of those subject codes include recidivism and reform, criminology, let me see what my list says here, I'm sorry, law and procedure, drug enforcement, investigation and forensics, organized crime, and the list goes on. So these can all be looked up and looked for in our subjects heading here. If we just jump in here, we can see. So if we're interested in something, for example, criminology, you can see that there's quite a few of, here's criminal behavior, criminal intent, criminal anthropology. These are all different subjects that are on a publication level. We've talked about the topics down to the article level. These subjects are all covered on the publication level. So what a particular publication tends to cover in the more general sense. And here you can see this is another great way of finding all these different publications that we have available, broken down to a specific subject area. All right, I'm just going to jump back. Now, another we've got one last poll. I know I said the last one was the last one, but I'd like to bring this one up before we jump into the next database I wanted to cover. Ben, could you bring up that last poll? Okay. Where would you look to find President Trump's executive order, that's the recent executive order from last Tuesday, on safe policing for safe communities? Would it be the U.S. Presidential Database, the Law Journal Library, the Federal Register, or the Rose Garden? All right, Ben, let's see what sort of results we have. Federal Register, excellent. And the Presidential Database, both excellent. The Federal Register is what we're going to jump into now. The Federal Register is where the presidential executive orders are published. Now, the U.S. Presidential Database is also correct in a way because we have within there the daily compilation of presidential documents. In the daily compilation of presidential documents, actually I'm going to jump back here and I'm going to run that search for safe policing. For safe communities. I'm going to run that search. You can see here that we have results from both the Federal Register and the daily compilation of presidential documents. If we jump into the Federal Register day, you will see that we are looking at the executive order. Oops, I'm sorry, wrong page. The executive order for safe policing and safe communities. This is the text of the order that was signed by President Trump on Tuesday the 16th, and it was published in the Federal Register on Friday, June 19th. Now, if we go back, and we can see we also have the daily compilation of presidential documents. The executive order for the that we just looked at will not be published in the daily compilation of presidential documents. However, the remarks that were said about the executive order at that signing in the Rose Garden are available in the daily compilation of presidential documents. So what you can do here is you can research, what President Trump had to say about that particular executive order, and then you can go over to the Federal Register and you can find the actual text of that executive order as well. So I'm going to close that up. Now, the last thing I wanted to cover is case law. Obviously, case law is a large part of the criminal justice system. We have case law available in a couple different ways. We have our U.S. Supreme Court database, which is available right here within HeinOnline. It includes all of the official reports of the U.S. Supreme Court, so the highest law of the land, from inception in 1754 up to the most current content available. I'm going to just jump into one of these volumes right here. I'll show you that while you can read the official opinions right in HeinOnline, we do have links out to Oye, which allows you to hear the oral arguments of these particular cases and also read the written transcripts of each one of those oral arguments. And then you can also come back here and you can read those of the majority opinions, the dissents, the concurring opinions, and so on. In addition to the U.S. Supreme Court, we also have case law, state level case law, baked directly into HeinOnline from Fastcase. So Fastcase is another company that we work with very closely with, and their material is, like I said, it's kind of woven right into the fabric of HeinOnline. It can be accessed with this tab up here that says case law. Now, the case law comes in two ways. You can either access it through inline linking, where our system recognizes case citations within, for example, the journal articles that we were just talking about. If someone, an author, cites to a particular case, our system recognizes it, hot links it, highlights it. You can click on it, and it will take you directly to that case within HeinOnline. Or if having full text access to case law is important to your programs, you can purchase what we call Fast Case Premium, which allows you to do full text searching across all of the fast case law, as well as use what they call their bad law bot, which is very similar to something like maybe Lexis's shepherdizing system. So let me do a search, and I'll show you what that looks like. Also up here, you can also plug in, if you have a particular case citation, you can plug it into this box here, and it will take you directly to that particular case, and that works with either one of the ways of accessing HeinOnline's case law. So either the regular fast case basic, or the fast case premium. So here we'll put in, let's just put in under text, police reform. And I'll run that search. So here, just using the term police reform, we've gotten 43 results. You can see here it shows how many times this particular case has been cited by articles and other cases. As we scroll down, well, first of all, on the left-hand side of the screen, again, ways to reform. If you're interested in a particular jurisdiction, Puerto Rico, any particular case, a state, federal appellate, federal. We also have these federal Supreme Court in here as well. So all the different levels of jurisdictions are available, particular date ranges, locations, and individual people and organizations that may be mentioned within these cases. Here you see that this particular case has a red flag that indicates that it has negative treatment indicated. If I click that, it will come up and it's going to show me what cases have been given negative treatment, what cases have given that initial case, negative treatment. If we want, we can click on any one of these cases and open them up and read where that negative treatment is given to that previous case. If I jump back, I just want to show you what our cases look like, fast case cases look like in HeinOnline. Now, where everything in HeinOnline is image-based, the fast case law is rekeyed, and it's still excellent case law, and is considered one of the big three of case law, along with Westlaw and Lexis. So as we scroll down here, you can see all of our citation information is available here. All the case information, the sites are highlighted. So if we want to jump and see what the cases are that this particular judge has cited, we can jump over and see those as well. And it prints to PDF just as beautifully as all the other material available in HeinOnline. So I'm now going to just kind of cover our support material quickly. One thing I do want to show you, if I jump into the criminal justice database, is our Libguide for criminal justice. We have Libguides available for many of the different databases that are available within the HeinOnline Academic Package. This one in particular has been put together for the Criminal Justice and Criminology database. It includes training materials, search tips, how to best use HeinOnline's Criminal Justice and Criminology collection, and kind of a what is it. It was put together by our HeinOnline specialist, Stephanie. She's an excellent resource, and we always suggest, if you have questions, to reach out to our support staff. They're some of the best you're going to find anywhere, great people, and they will help you out with anything you may need. So what else do we have for support? We also have a knowledge base and a blog, in addition to many Libguides. First, let's look at the knowledge base. So the knowledge base is a resource, as you probably are aware, is a resource for all sorts of different aspects of HeinOnline, whether it be setting up access to your proxy server, or what the best links are to use, or how to use a permalink. We also have training guides for specific databases, as well as overall HeinOnline usage, the basics, how to grab a PDF, how to print something out, top 10 tips to get into HeinOnline. And then we've also put together training videos. Some of these are long. We have ones that are very in-depth and go up to 45 minutes long. What I really recommend is anyone should check out these training videos by Quimby. They're very short, maybe 4 minutes long, and they're an excellent resource for you to kind of get your feet wet and get into HeinOnline. We also have them available in the HeinOnline YouTube channel, and they are put together all as a playlist, so you can access them easily, link to them, embed them, do whatever you wish to do with them as a resource for your library. And then finally, we do have the HeinOnline Blog. The HeinOnline Blog is a resource for us to communicate to you all what it is that we've been up to throughout the week. Even we try to update as frequently as possible. We talk about current events, things that are going on in the world and the news. Often here you can see we're talking about Pride Month. If we go down talking about Father's Day, the investigation of the Father's Right movement, because it was recently Father's Day, talking about new databases that are available, and even I saw a tiger. Stephanie, who we just talked about previously, put this this blog post together talking about the Tiger King phenomenon that was occurring a couple months ago, and she related that to the laws of owning exotic animals, and tigers in particular, within the United States and across the different states within the Union. So we just try to take kind of pop culture things and show you how you can really suss out all sorts of different information within HeinOnline, whether it be criminal justice related, political science related, or exotic animal related. It's all incredibly easy to use, easy to access, and it's all there right within HeinOnline. So with all of that being said, I believe that I kind of covered everything I wanted to cover. I saw that we have quite a few questions coming in. I don't know exactly what they are, but as I mentioned, we have recorded the video. So if you have, I will be sending out a link to everyone just so you have access to the video if you'd like to review it. And reminder, you will be receiving a Starbucks gift card, and you'll be receiving that via email, and you should have it by the end of the day on Friday. So thanks everyone, I appreciate your time. I hope you have a great afternoon. And if you have questions, reach out to me, reach out to Steve, and enjoy using HeinOnline. Have a great day.